So last week I discussed a potential leaked design for Pearl, one which might show up in the show at some point in the future as a past version of Pearl's design, i.e. Pearl in a flashback of some sort. This comes from a product sheet of upcoming 3D foam keyrings, styled after Steven and the Gems, some of which seem to be products based on designs which haven't shown up in the show yet. I'm going to be talking about that particular potential leak again this week, so once again, if you haven't seen the image of the keyrings in question and you don't want to be spoiled, assuming that it is in fact a spoiler, I once again recommend that you leave this video alone for now and come back once it's no longer spoilerific. Though if you could mute the player and let it kind of run in the background while you're doing other stuff to make it look like you watched the whole thing, I'd really appreciate it. YouTube prefers videos that have high viewer engagement. That said, after having discussed the possible implications of this past Pearl design this week I'd like to delve a little bit deeper into the more speculative side of things and discuss some of my favorite theories which have kind of sprung up as a result of this, relating to Pearl's origins specifically. I still consider myself part of Team Pearl used to belong to White Diamond. And I mentioned in my video last week that I still think there are some aspects of this design which support that idea. The first and simplest of which is that looking at Pearl now, looking at her clothing now, she still has multiple colors in her outfit, but the one color which she doesn't seem to display in her clothing any longer, relating to the colors of each of the diamonds, is white. In her past design, we can see clear white accents in her skirt, the ruffle above her skirt, and the collar. In her current design, though, in the clothing at least, we don't see any white anywhere. White is, of course, still represented by her white pearl gem, and her weapon is still white, but white is absent from her clothing, and I think that that's important. It could very well mean that she used to belong to White Diamond, and as a show of defiance when she chose to rebel, she stopped wearing her diamond's color. But I talked about this one last week, so let's talk about the other aspect of Pearl's clothing which I think supports this idea, and that's the design of her color itself. This is obviously a very stylized image. We can't assume that this is literally what this design will look like on screen, but if it does look at least mostly similar to this, then the color of Pearl's outfit here is interesting. Obviously there are some major differences between the layout of this outfit and the layout of the typical Pearl outfit as we know it. Taking Yellow Diamond's Pearl as an example, we can see something like this design here, sort of inverted, being represented in, I guess you would say, the cleavage of her outfit. And there are definitely big, poofy shoulders, which, though sheer, are similar, at least in shape, to the shoulders on Pearl's outfit in the leaked image. But there is nothing resembling a collar. And it is worth noting that if you were to assume that this collar is symmetrical front and back, and looked at it from the top, and Pearl's head also weren't there somehow, it would look very similar to a white diamond. This is in line with what we know of the appearance of many other homeworld gems. Most homeworld gems that we've seen have an obvious diamond somewhere in the design of their outfit. Even this cleavage shape on yellow and blue pearl can be construed as a diamond, and because their skin matches the color of their diamond, then the skin behind this cutout in their clothing acts as their diamond's insignia. But on this clearly more old-fashioned looking design that Pearl is wearing in the leaked image, the most obvious diamond is that collar. The second most obvious diamond being that same shape inverted in her waistline, which, while it frames what looks like pink fabric here, it is bordered in white. Though this does technically mean that Pearl has 3 diamonds in her outfit, 2 of which are white and 1 of which is pink, and considering that White Diamond and Pink Diamond are sort of the biggest contenders among the fandom as to who was Pearl's original owner, at the end of the day, these observations don't really tell us much of anything. They just kind of serve to further substantiate whichever version of the theory you are already particular to. Still, and I say this admitting freely that I am somewhat biased, looking at this, I still see more evidence for White Diamond here than anyone else. Though our next 2 theories do actually manage to strike something of a happy medium between the 2 ideas. The first of them suggests that because gems are technically made out of light which is only being made to behave like actual matter, and because white light is made up of every wavelength of light and therefore technically made up of light of every color, thematically speaking, it would make sense if some aspect of White Diamond's design reflected this, and her outfit actually included colors of the other diamonds, maybe even symbolizing that she was the first diamond and that the others were created from her, based on her template, for lack of a better term. If that's the case, then this would just be the logical outfit for White Diamond's Pearl. It looks a bit more old-fashioned because it is. It's a pre-war outfit. The popular appearance of pearls has been updated since then, i.e. Yellow Diamond's Pearl and Blue Diamond's Pearl would have worn outfits much more similar to this one back before the war, just all their one color. I like this one a lot. It makes a lot of sense, though I do kind of find it interesting that what little we have seen of White Diamond doesn't suggest the colors of any other diamonds in her design. Though, of course, nothing that we'd seen of Pink Diamond before her reveal suggested that she was quite as small as the episode makes her seem, or even that her gem was the shape that it ended up being, so I don't really know how much stock we can put into what we have seen of White Diamond up to this point. The second theory, though, the one that I like the best out of these, and keep in mind these are the three that I like best in the first place, so this one would be something of the best in this case, is that the other diamond's colors are present in this pearl because she was created by the other diamonds for Pink Diamond when Pink Diamond was finally given a court and a planet to conquer. So technically, though she was Pink Diamond's Pearl, she in a way belonged to all of them. And because of that, they all wanted something of themselves represented in her design. Remember, pearls are made to order slave-class gems. Blue Diamond's Pearl and Yellow Diamond's Pearl resemble Blue Diamond and Yellow Diamond because they were designed by Blue Diamond and Yellow Diamond to be accessories which accentuate them. The same would be true of our Pearl in this case, though rather than being designed by Pink Diamond to accentuate Pink Diamond, she, in this example, was designed by the other diamonds to remind Pink Diamond of them as she was going forward and doing her thing. This one not only finds a happy medium between the idea that White Diamond owned Pearl and the idea that Pink Diamond owned Pearl, but also the idea that all of them could have owned Pearl. And I realize I've been talking about people owning people a lot in this video, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. You guys see what I'm saying here. The fact of the matter is, though, that this design of Pearl, as I've said before, is very simplistic. It's probably going to look vastly different once we see it on screen, assuming that we ever do. And so I insist that anyone watching this video take all of these ideas, all of these theories, with a grain of salt. I am very convinced that the actual truth of Pearl's origin is going to turn out to be different than any of the stuff I've suggested here today. There's even the idea floating around that this is what a Pearl looks like who doesn't belong to one of the diamonds, supporting the theory that Pearl didn't belong to one of the diamonds at all, and that's also very likely based on this image. I guess what it boils down to is this is a really interesting image, and I could talk about it for a very, very long time, but I don't really have an infinite amount of time to put into this video, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here. As per usual, guys, I'd like to know what did you think of these theories, and if you have any other theories of your own, I'd love to hear them, either in the comment section down below or over on my Discord. Link in the description. Either way, though, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.